Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the Storytime Society. I'm your host Jamie and I'm so happy you're here. I'm so glad you're alive. Thanks for tuning in. The theme of this episode is Am I the Asshole? With updates. So let's get into it. Am I the asshole for ruining my best friend's wedding and likely our decades long friendship? Trigger warnings, essay, predatory behavior, and manipulation. So this happened just a few days ago, and I'm still feeling guilty over what happened. This weekend was my best friend Christian's 30 male wedding, and I, 30 male, had the honor of being the best man. Christian and I have been best friends for almost 20 years. He was the best man at my own wedding. Our wives are close too. All that good stuff. The night of the rehearsal dinner arrives. Everyone's ready to have a great time. Then, about 10 minutes into the event, I look over and notice that my wife, Jasmine, 30 female, is shaking and talking in a panic about something to one of the other bridesmaids. I walk over to see what's up, and the bridesmaid tells me she just witnessed Christian's dad, Robert, 50 male, walk up to my wife and rub her ass multiple times. Then he says to Jasmine, loud enough for the other bridesmaid and her 10-year-old daughter to hear, mind you, essentially, quote, I get to touch you now because it's my son's wedding. I'm 20 feet away. Robert's wife is 20 feet away. Christian is 20 feet away. Didn't seem to stop Robert, though. I immediately see red, but my wife begs me to not do anything. Let me tell you that in over a decade together with Jasmine, I've never once allowed something like this to just slide. And frankly, there's been hardly anyone who had the balls to disrespect my wife at all while I'm around. I'm trying my best not to walk up and deck the guy as hard as I can. If he weren't my best friend's dad and it wasn't a wedding, I would have 100% ended up in jail for doing something violent. Mind you, I've known Robert about as long as I've known Christian. Always thought he was cool before this. Maybe this old dude thought that meant we were cool enough that he could assault my wife whenever he wants. Finally, I lose my cool and walk up to Robert, who's nearby, kind of by himself. I put my arm around him and say, Hey, Robert. No more of that shit. He plays dumb at first, acting like he doesn't know what I mean, so I repeat myself, quote, You know what I'm talking about. No more of that shit. Finally, he seems to get it and stutters some kind of, okay, and we go our separate ways. In my opinion, it should have stopped there. Unfortunately, it seems some of Robert's family may have overheard what happened. All of a sudden, rumors are flying across the wedding. People know something happened. People are giving my wife dirty looks as Robert and his wife disappear for hours, presumably to fight. Whatever, we get through the rehearsal night. Then the next morning, as people are getting ready, Robert approaches me alone and tries to give me a little, we cool, fist bump. It's been less than 12 hours since it happened at this point, so I tell him flat out, no, we're not cool. Still, he doesn't get the picture. Hours later, while the bridesmaids are getting ready, he approaches me again and asks, Where's Jasmine? Is she getting dressed right now? I see red again immediately and say, Don't effing talk about her. He gets all offended and walks away. Luckily, this was my last direct interaction with him for the weekend. Of course, though, Robert then decides it's time to go find my wife, again while I'm not there, and try to apologize. Jasmine just says, Get away from me. Finally, Robert gets it. We don't want apologies. We want to be left alone. Still, the vibe is off the rest of the time. Robert is sulking, his wife is giving Jasmine dirty looks, and Christian's entire family is whispering every time we're around. It eventually apparently got back to Christian. He never talked to me about what happened, never checked in to see if my wife was okay. For reference, I would defend his wife to the grave if anyone ever tried the same shit with her. The kicker was, at the end of the weekend, he said goodbyes to everyone but Jasmine and I. Seems pretty clear to me that he's chosen sides and we haven't spoken since. Should I have just let it slide? 5% of me says yes for the sake of peace and my friendship with Christian, but 95% of me also says I stopped something worse from happening. Reminder that the guy couldn't keep his hands to himself for more than 10 minutes into the rehearsal. Am I the asshole?
If you want extra content weekly, head over to patreon.com/storytimesociety and become a member on there for extra content. Love you.
The fact that you're asking this, I mean, good on you for sticking up for her, but like, there should be no question that you're not the asshole. You're obviously not the asshole. Like, I would have immediately, sorry, but if someone was assaulting my partner, it would have been a done deal right then and there. It would have actually, like, not that I would have caused a scene or anything, which honestly, I think it would have been fine as well if he would have caused a scene, because maybe your dad shouldn't sexually assault someone in front of everyone, and then maybe that scene wouldn't have been caused. But I genuinely feel like I would be so pissed off, and I would be like, I would go tell literally everyone. I'm not even kidding you. Like, I would go tell my friend that is the groom and be like, yeah, this just happened. And then that, like, however he reacts would be what would, like, set the tone. If he's gonna act like that, like he's on his dad's side, then I'm leaving. Like, me and my wife are leaving. We're immediately getting the fuck out of there, because I'm not gonna make my wife be around someone that just grabbed her ass and then said that he's allowed to grab her ass because it's his son's wedding. Absolutely not. And like, I would never, ever, ever. No. And then for everyone to be whispering and acting, of course people are blaming the victim. Like, really, this girl just got assaulted and you're whispering about her and you're taking the dad's side? Like, what do you think? It's always the girl's like the slut, you know? Like, even though she did nothing wrong, I bet you they were whispering around like she wanted it or something, and they're, you know, like, it's all like, oh, it pisses me off so much. It's just so annoying. I swear, so many situations where the woman gets blamed and the man just like gets off scot-free. It really makes no sense, because if that was my husband and my husband did that, first of all, wouldn't be my husband at all, because I'm sure he's done something like that before and I would have left his ass long ago. But her being like upset with Jasmine over her own husband, which I'm sure she like did say something in private to him, I would have been going up to her and been like, I'm so fucking sorry for my POS husband. Like, he is absolutely unwell for doing that. Okay, there's an edit. It says, appreciate you all so much. This is making me realize the position my friend is in is likely extremely awkward and that we need to have a conversation. At the wedding itself, I really wanted nothing to get back to him / ruin the wedding, which is why we haven't talked about it. We all just got home last night. Jasmine and Christian's wife are meeting up for the usual drinks tomorrow night, and Jasmine has resolved to tell her everything. They're very close, so I'm sure Christian's wife will believe my wife. That being said, I'm not sure where things ultimately fall. In the meantime / coming days, I do have to come up with a way to reach out to Christian. I want to keep the friendship if I can, for sure. We've been through honestly everything together. Okay, I'm confused about this edit because I'm confused about what people are commenting, honestly. Like, what do you mean your friend is in a likely extremely awkward situation? I'm sorry, but if my dad grabbed like my friend's ass at a wedding and said, this is my daughter's wedding, so I'm allowed, that's not an extremely awkward situation for me. That's a situation where I say, Dad, get the actual fuck away, go home, and I'm never speaking to you again. I don't want to speak to someone that's going to assault a woman in front of everyone and say that like he's allowed to do that. Like, absolutely not. No. Relevant comments. Someone said, your wife's safety and well-being come first, always. His actions were unacceptable. Sexual assault, and anyone excusing it, including your friend, is wrong. OP said, thank you. I needed to hear this, honestly. Commenter 2 said, not the asshole. You didn't ruin anything. Creepy old man did. I understand your friend is in an odd position. Maybe talk it out when time has passed, or move on. You're fine either way. Honestly, based on his behavior, he would have escalated things 100% with your wife had you not intervened. No, I actually can't. Someone said, does Christian know the real story? And OP said, honestly, I don't know what he knows right now. My wife and his wife are meeting up tomorrow for drinks, so it will come up. I didn't even mention that Christian's wife has a long history of her own problems with Robert and Robert's wife, so it's not like she'll be coming to defend them, LOL. I just don't understand, why do people still continue to talk to their shitty ass parents? Like, you have multiple issues with these people and you're still inviting them to your wedding. I mean, obviously, like, you do you in your situation. I know that it's like, it can be really complicated, especially with family and feeling like you have to always keep that relationship. But like, if my dad's assaulting someone, I'm not keeping that relationship. Like, I don't care about that relationship, and I'm not sorry about it. I don't want to even be anywhere associated with a person that would assault someone and think that it's okay. Okay, update. 2 days later. All right, guys, thank you again to everyone who gave me advice. For your sake, I wish I could say this one has a more interesting ending, but most of you were right. Christian is disgusted by his dad and is fully on Jasmine and I's side. We're still bros, and he apologized profusely to my wife when she stopped over to meet up with his wife. We've spoken since, and all is good now. Who knows how Christian's relationship with Robert will go from here, but all things considered, I'm fine with where things landed. Sorry for anyone expecting more drama, but I'm just glad to have my brother back. Well, that's good. I'm glad. I'm glad that Christian... I'm just wondering why Christian... Like, because it sounded like they were very positive that Christian had taken his dad's side. Like, why didn't he say goodbye? Or maybe... I don't know. Like, I'm confused about that. Why didn't he say goodbye to his best friend and their... Like, his wife? That's what I'm, like, really confused about. Okay. Someone actually said, great news. Out of curiosity, though, as Christian hadn't even said goodbye to you and your wife, as well as his mom giving Jasmine dirty looks, what was the actual rumor being spread around? Because it sounds like something framing Jasmine as the bad guy went around. OOP said he was embarrassed and sad from what I understand. That's all. To be honest, he's like a brother to me. I get it. It would have been hard to confront me. He was embarrassed and sad from what I understand. So he didn't reach out to you or Jasmine. He knew what happened and he was just embarrassed and sad, so he ignored it and didn't think to reach out to Jasmine, who had just been assaulted by his dad. Sorry. What? No. I'm not down with that, honestly. Someone said, I know weddings have a lot of traditions and rituals. Some of them are a bit strange, but I had not heard of the father of the groom gets to touch whoever he likes. Actually, though. Someone said something old, something new, something borrowed, something ew. Tea, literally tea. Okay, we're going to move on to the next story. The title is, Am I the Asshole? My boyfriend peed the bed and is mad at me for my response. My boyfriend, male 27, and I, female 23, just moved into a new house and bought a new mattress. Last night, I woke up to a wet feeling under my arm and hand. My boyfriend was already up and in the bathroom. When he came back, I asked him if he spilled something in the bed or knew why it was wet, and he told me that he thinks he peed the bed. I asked him again and said, wait, are you serious? And he said, I think I peed in my dream and peed in real life. We're both half awake at this point, and I'm just surprised that he actually did wet the bed. I asked him to go grab stuff to clean it up, and he told me that it was fine. I asked him what he meant by that, and he grabbed a towel, laid it on the wet spot, and got back into bed to go to sleep. I pulled the covers off of him and I told him that he needs to go grab stuff to clean it up because I don't want it to get stained and it's a new mattress and we don't have a mattress cover for it yet. He told me that it was fine and I'm overreacting. That statement naturally pissed me off and I told him I'm not going to sleep in his piss and that's not fair to me. He told me he'd clean it in the morning and that it's not a big deal and doesn't warrant the reaction I have. That was not the solution I wanted, so I took off all the sheets off the bed and threw them at him and told him to sleep on the couch. It was very irritating hearing him tell me that I'm overreacting because I asked him to clean up his peed in the bed we both slept in. He then knocked on the door 10 minutes later asking for a new blanket because the one I gave him smelled like pee. So, am I the asshole for overreacting to my boyfriend not cleaning up the pee in the bed right away? I mean, no. Not at all. What the hell? I would never make my partner sleep in my own soil. Like, and honestly, I'm not even judging him for peeing the bed because the amount of times I've been so close to peeing the bed because I'm having a dream that like I'm on the toilet and it's like literally at the gates of hell. It's about to come out and I wake up and I'm like, oh my God, I'm not on the toilet right now. Actually, for a while, I wake up every night to go pee. I'm probably at like 3 a.m. And for a while, I had been having to I had to open my eyes and shut them multiple times to make sure that I was awake and I wasn't dreaming because I was so nervous for a while that I was going to pee the bed because I kept having dreams that I was peeing on the toilet. So naturally, I would be opening, open it up down there, spread it open and flick the bean. Not actually, but peeing. What? That made no sense actually, but it's fine. Okay. Top comment says, not the asshole, and get the pee remover used for dogs because soap and water won't do the trick. Ew, yeah. Seriously, I don't want any. Oh my God. Pee is like the actual worst smell, especially fucking, which obviously this is so different, but cat pee is the worst. Like when I was in college, me and my roommate had a cat, and that cat would piss on her bed all the time, and it would smell so bad, which obviously now that I'm older, like I know that I didn't know why she was doing it, and she wasn't exhibiting any like signs of any health problems or anything, which I didn't even know at the time, that when your cats like pee on things or pee on beds, that meant that it could possibly have like a blockage. But now I'm smarter and I'm older and I know that. Okay, there's an update though. Update. Thank you guys for the quick replies. This was my first post on Reddit and I don't use it very much, but after he left for work today, I really couldn't get the situation off of my mind. I thought I'd see what you guys had to say. I'll address a few comments from the first post. First off, I wish it was fake, but I really did wake up yesterday to piss in the bed and ended it arguing with my boyfriend. My boyfriend and I have only lived together in small stints here and there before, but this is the first time we have our own house, just us. No, he doesn't have a drug or alcohol problem. Diabetes, takes meds, and wasn't drinking that night. He just worked an overnight shift the previous night and said he was pretty tired. He's never done this before since we've been together, so that's why I didn't believe him at first. And we don't have a lot of money right now, so we got a mattress from Walmart for $300, for those of you bashing that detail, lol. We both ended up cleaning the pee after I threw the sheets and blankets at him, and I took the bed because our couch isn't big, and I really couldn't be bothered to move to the couch when I felt like I did nothing wrong. I was tired and didn't think about that part entirely. Also, he is not horrible and abusive BF. He does not have a fetish, etc., like some of the comments have said. And I didn't throw him out of the house. He was truly half awake and was just not responsive the way he needed to be after peeing in our bed. Anyways, he got back from work today with flowers and my favorite ice cream. He told me he was thinking about what happened last night all day and that he was sorry. He apologized for dismissing me and that he was disrespectful. I told him that the only issue I had in the situation was him telling me I was overreacting for me wanting him to clean up the pee at the moment. That wasn't fair to me and expect me to be okay sleeping in his pee. Let me be clear. I understand accidents happen, but to sit there and tell me my response to needing it cleaned ASAP is unwarranted is insane. I appreciated the gesture and I did read what you guys said. He doesn't have any underlying trauma or alcohol issues. He just peed the bed by accident. I wasn't shaming him for peeing the bed. I was mad at his response. I'm trying to be understanding that he was tired and wanted to go back to bed, but at the same time, this affects both of us. I just needed him to be responsible and acknowledge that what I said was valid and he needs to grow up. He did order a mattress cover that will be here tomorrow. So until that's on the mattress, I don't want him in the bed with me. I think making him sleep with those sheets and blankets did jolt him awake to realizing the gravity of the situation. I'm still a bit hurt from how he handled the situation selfishly and was inconsiderate. But he seems pretty remorseful, so we'll see how we both feel later. That's it for now. Thanks for your advice. The top comment says, one very important life lesson here, never use the dream toilet. Actually, though, like, honestly, didn't even think twice, other than, like, I do know that, you know, like, younger kids, and I'm not sure how long it even lasts, but I do know that, like, I understand what people were saying in the comments, because I know that sometimes if you have a history of sexual assault, like, you can pee the bed more often. But I don't know how, like, as a kid, I know that can happen. I don't know how long that goes. I'm assuming it can, if you don't work through that trauma, I'm assuming it can go throughout your life, like, as you get older and stuff as well. So it is good to, like, you know, make sure that he's okay in that sense. And then also, I've had friends, like, that in college would piss the bed every time they would get drunk. They would pee the bed, and which is just crazy. And the way that it's like, I could literally count 5 to 10 people that I know have peed the bed at least one time when they were drunk or do it constantly. And it's like a thing where you literally don't want this person sleeping on anything that you own because they will pee the bed if they are drinking. which I don't know what that means. Like, why? Because I've been plenty drunk in my life. You know, I've been blackout drunk like more times than I would even like to admit, and I've never peed. So I always wonder, like, why are people more prone to peeing than others when they're drinking? I don't know, but I would definitely be concerned and want to make sure that, like, I would never shame if that happened to my boyfriend. Like, I would never be like, I can't believe you peed the bed. I would be like, okay, well, are you okay? Because either something is underlying or you really did just use the dream toilet, because I can understand 100%. We're moving on to the next story. And the title is, Am I the asshole for not banning my wife's dog from our home even though my son is suddenly allergic to it? I have a son from my first marriage that I have 50-50 custody of. We alternate weeks. My now wife used to work in another state, and she has 2 daughters. We dated long distance, and I would see her every other week when I traveled for work. My son has met her and her daughters many, many times, and we moved slow. We only married after the kids were okay with it. My wife finally got a new job here 3 months ago, and we bought a house together in the same city my son and I live in. Her kids are still adjusting to the move and are not thrilled. The problem now is with my ex, my son and my wife's 6-year-old German Shepherd. My son has met this dog many times before and has had no issues. Well, after we bought the house and my wife brought the dog here permanently, there has been a whole disaster. Remember that my son has seen this dog many times before with no issues, and there is no known history of dog allergies. But now it seems he's having a mild reaction to the dog all of a sudden. It's some redness around his eyes and sniffling. An allergist has confirmed this. My ex has gone absolutely crazy, more than usual, and refused to let my son over unless the dog is removed. She's also not approving the use of antihistamines if the reaction is bothering him. I ended up spending $40,000 to renovate our basement so my son would have a living space that is totally separate from the dog. I also bought several air purifiers and vacuum and scrub everything every single day when he's living here. It's exhausting. But the moment he complains of a possible reaction, my ex takes him back to her house, even though it's my custody time. Now it appears my son is listening to his mother and making ultimatums that he won't be coming over unless we get rid of the dog. You can see why this is difficult for me. My wife and stepdaughters are completely attached to their dog. My wife is besides herself and is now saying she regrets buying the house together. But we are stuck in the house for a while because of financial reasons. I really thought the separate living area was a good compromise. It's much nicer than the rest of the house, and I'm down there the entire time he is. I'm just so sick of my ex constantly trying to ruin my life, and I refuse to put my wife and stepdaughters through something as traumatic as giving up their dog. My ex told me yesterday I was putting the dog over my son's needs, and it broke my heart. That is not what I'm doing, and it's killing me that he's hearing this from her. Am I the asshole here? My son is 13, and I don't know how much longer I'll be able to force him to come live with me on my time. Not the asshole, number one. Number two, it's literally court ordered that you have custody 50-50. So, like, I'm pretty sure your wife is not, like, I don't know what it's called, but that's not legal. I don't know. To be taking him, like, when you have 50-50 custody, you have 50-50 custody. Also, that having a mild, I'm sorry. Like, yeah, I know. Okay, I know this kid is only 13. Okay, but people live with mild reactions to dogs and cats all the time. All the time. I have 3 cats. My boyfriend is allergic, and he lives a perfectly amazing life. Like, and we don't have to scrub every inch of the house. And it sounds like he has like the same amount of, because if he pets them too much or whatever, like, if he cleans the litter box, like, he starts to sneeze and he gets like really sniffly. He sneezes a lot. His eyes get itchy and stuff. But like, I don't know. I understand. Like, I do not think that they should get rid of the dog at all. The fact that he built a whole ass basement for this kid to live in is amazing. And like, I'm so honestly impressed by him doing that, because like, that is obviously a lot of work. And also, he said he spent like a lot of money on it. I don't even know if I would do that. Like, I feel like I would just be like, oh, we'll just make sure to clean your room as much as possible, put air purifiers in there, and you just like make sure you're not petting the dog and stuff, because I'm sure it's not like that hard to not have a reaction. And then if you need to, you can take some Zyrtec or something. I don't know. Like, is that bad to be like, just take some Zyrtec if you're feeling an allergy problem come on? I mean, what do people do when I've never had allergies, so I really don't know. Like, what do people do when their kids have pollen allergies? I'm assuming they take some type of antihistamine. No? Like, I don't really understand I feel like his wife's just trying to make a problem out of something, which I understand being concerned, but like, there are so many things you can do, and they already are taking all the precautions to make sure the kid is as comfortable as possible. And I definitely can understand like how influential it can be to be hearing one parent talk shit about the other parent, and you just immediately like, when you're little like that, you're only 13 years old, you are very easily persuaded, and you like, it's so much easier to just be like, yeah, you're right, dad is so like fucked up for that or whatever, you know? I mean, I felt that way like when my parents would talk about each other, which my dad honestly didn't talk that much. Like, sometimes once in a while he would call my mom crazy and I'd be like, honestly, T, like, can't everyone be a little crazy sometimes? But my mom would talk a little bit about my dad a little more than like I think is normal for being with your kids, you know? So I would hear a lot of that, but then at the same time, like, I had my own things to say about my dad, and I'm not really sure. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if it was, I think I did have a lot of that from hearing my mom speak about him, but I also think I had my own little reservations about my dad just because of like being young and seeing the way things were like handled. But I really didn't know. I don't know. I don't even know. Whatever. I can't explain it. Someone said, what in your custody agreement makes it okay that your wife has refused to allow your son to come over or refused to allow him to take antihistamine or any other medication? What she seems to forget is she's no longer your wife, and while she has a say over what does and does not happen with her child, she has no say in what goes on in your home as long as you are tending to the safety and well-being of your child. Like, oh, I don't know, putting in 40,000 addition for a separate living space. OOP said, the way it's written, both parents' consent is required for medical decisions. My ex also buys into a lot of conspiracy theories that my son is now also starting to believe. Oh gosh, that sounds awful. Someone said, not the asshole, I think. It seems like his allergy is pretty mild and you've gone above and beyond to accommodate it. He's 13, not a little kid. He can take medicine if all he gets are the sniffles. It's not really fair for your wife to have to get rid of her dog for some sneezes. However, if his allergy is any more serious than you're letting on, it's more of a problem. Regardless, your ex is being a real asshole. She should not be interfering in this so heavily, and she should not be doing so by playing up the issue to your son and making him upset with you over it. Have you sat your son down and talked to him about it one-on-one? OOP said it is a mild allergy for sure. That's even how the allergist put it. But my son has been convincing my son, but my wife has been, my ex has been convincing my son it's worse than it actually is, and they're both overreacting. I have tried talking to him several times, but when his own mother is contradicting me, he's obviously confused and is just siding with her. I get it. Do I get it? Truly. All right, so there's an update. Let's read it. This is 9 months later. This situation is honestly tearing my family apart. My son from my first marriage is 14 now. When I got married to my now wife a bit ago, everything was going great. We did things by the book and made sure the kids were happy before we got married. Once we got married, my wife moved to the state where my son and I live, and we bought a house together. My wife and stepdaughters had a 6-year-old German Shepherd. My son met this dog several times before and had no issues. After we moved in together, my son started getting mild reactions to the dog. The doctor said antihistamines would be a simple fix, but my ex refused to let him take them. As a result, I completely renovated our basement to the point that it's nicer than the rest of the house, just so my son could have a dog-free space. I spent a lot of money doing this. This wasn't enough, and my son, with my ex in the sidelines, gave me the ultimatum of him or the dog. At this point, we'd had months of conflict, and my son leaving early anytime he had discomfort. So after discussing with my wife, we made Don't even. Are you fucking joking me right now? I'm going to be pissed. We made the heartbreaking decision to let someone else adopt the dog because we didn't want my son to feel like we picked the dog over him. My stepdaughters were devastated but were very understanding. My son resumed seeing me as per the schedule and it seemed to be working out. Until Christmas, when my ex bought a dog for her family, and my son is freely taking antihistamines now without any complaint. This has obviously not gone over well with my wife and stepdaughters. The kids are fighting nonstop with my son, who is not even being remotely remorseful. My wife is incredibly upset and angry, and I feel like a fool who fell for a very cruel trick. I talked to my son about this, who just seems to avoid the subject. My ex has basically been very rude and flippant about the whole thing. My stepdaughters have said they'll never forgive my son, and I'm just left here wondering how I salvage this. And family therapy isn't an option because my ex opposes therapy. I'm saving to change our custody order because my ex is abusing clauses that lets her deny certain medical treatments that she disagrees with. I'm also feeling very betrayed by my son. I know he's being caught in the middle, but his subsequent attitude has been very disappointing. Sorry, but a literal pot of boiling water was just ignited inside of my body and my bones. Like, I'm actually pissed off right now. I have the chills. I'm so pissed off. Like, no, you did not just give up your dog for this stupid asshole to just go and turn around and get it. I knew it was just to spite him. I knew it was just to spite them. She did not give a damn about her son. All she cares about is spiting her ex. That's really all she cares about in this situation. I'm actually gonna freak out. If they don't get this dog back, I'm literally heartbroken. I'm heartbroken right now. Like, I feel like crying. When it involves animals, like, it fucks me up hard. Okay. There's another update, and like, I'm literally gonna be so upset if he doesn't get this dog back. No, seriously, like, I'm actually gonna freak the fuck out. Okay, so this update is basically just like restating the whole situation in a shorter term, and it starts here. It says, my stepdaughters were extremely upset with my son and we had to keep them separated. I then decided to be stupid and petty and start legal proceedings to gain full custody based on my ex buying a dog. I said I didn't want my son on toxic medication like she did, but I honestly just wanted revenge. In response, my ex also gave her dog away. Why are we giving dogs away? Oh my God. A month ago, my son moved out of my ex's house to my parents' house. He said he wasn't going to live with neither my ex nor me. I went over really pissed because I thought this was him playing into my ex's schemes. Instead, I sat and watched him cry and say that now everyone at both houses hates him and he's being bullied. And he included my ex and I as the ones who's bullying him. I felt like I was shot through my heart. I realized I'd done exactly what I was accusing my ex of, using my son as a pawn in our conflict. When did I become this disgusting person? How did I let myself become such a terrible father? His face was filled with so much hurt and sadness. He was already getting shit at my home from my stepdaughters, and I'd managed to make the kids at my ex's house dislike him too. What I'd interpreted as being remorseless was actually him putting up walls because he was feeling attacked. I'm so ashamed of myself. My dad told me he was very disappointed in my actions last week. I sat in my car and wept. I'm disappointed in myself too. I created a mediation appointment with my ex, and she actually participated. She also seemed to be full of regret. We came to an agreement to stop effing up our son's happiness just because we were assholes. But I'm not sure if we can salvage the situation with our son. He's cut both me and my ex off completely, and I can't even blame him. I just had to get this out. I haven't been able to sleep for a while now. I tried calling my son today again. He actually answered this time. He told me he hated me. To hear your child saying he hates you and actually mean it is the worst feeling in the world. Yeah, because honestly, at this point, you are the asshole. Both of you guys are assholes. Because now you're doing the same exact thing that your ex was doing by like fighting antihistamines and shit. And like, you should have just been like, okay, you can keep your dog and we're going to go get our dog back, honestly. But like, First of all, I have to say, obviously, I feel so bad for, like, I don't want to put the son's needs before, like, whatever, you know, I feel really bad for the son, and I think I understand, like, completely understand why he wouldn't want to talk to them, and I think that it's totally fair for him to take a break and, like, cut contact with them for a while, and just, like, live his life so that he isn't being brought in the middle and, like, being in a tug of war between his parents. Obviously, that's why I always say, like, you should never get your kids involved in anything. And people be fighting me about this all the time in the comments, all the time, every time I say this, but like, cheating, don't think you should tell your kids about it. Sorry. I'll literally stand 10 toes behind that. Okay. So if you want to fight with me in the comments, I'm just not going to respond anymore, because I'm never going to change my mind on that. So, and people will be like, there's so many articles that say that not telling your kid is so harmful. Okay, there's a lot of articles that say that telling your kid about that is harmful as well. So period, poo. Don't even talk to me about it. There are things that I can change my opinion on, okay? Like, I'm an open person. I am stubborn, but I am also an open person, and like, when someone comes and tells me with a reasonable, you know, like, I can open my mind and think about if I'm wrong about something, an opinion, and change an opinion. Like, I'm very open about that stuff. But some things I'm not going to waver on, and that is one of them. But anyways, yeah, like, I just feel so bad. I feel so bad for the son. Obviously, he's being put in a shit position. And then, like, not only that, but we're giving dogs away like the flip of a fucking hat, like the flip of a damn coin. Like, holy shit, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? These are lives. Like, these are also lives. I don't know why we're doing this whole game of like getting, if that were me, I would be like, no, absolutely do not get rid of your dog, because like, I would feel so, first of all, I would never do that my entire life. Like, I can't believe, I'm so surprised that this wife that he's married to currently even said, like, decided to do that. Like, I'm genuinely shocked and bemuffled by this occurrence. Sorry, I don't know why, like, a dog, because it's so innocent. Like, this little dog is so innocent. These two dogs are just fucked because they're in this situation with these families that clearly are only caring about getting revenge against each other, and they're putting their son and these poor animals who have no say in where they live and where they are, and if like anything. This is pissing me off. Like, it's pissing me off. It's really pissing me off, guys. I can't do it. Okay, top comment says, my ex constantly manipulated things with my son, doing a lot of damage to him, me, my wife, and our daughter. The one thing I never did was stoop to her level. In the end, my ex went too far, and my son has been living with me. No contact with her for over 2 years. She's done nothing to reconnect with him. This guy had $40K to drop on a renovation and didn't hire a lawyer to rain hellfire and brimstone on her without effing things up. My lawyer wouldn't have never allowed me to bring that kind of case even if I'd wanted to. What does that mean? That kind of case? I don't know what that means. Someone said, I was going to say, why didn't he just tell the judge his ex was violating the custody agreement and fight for that instead of going the petty route? That's what I was thinking as well. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? You guys have 50-50 custody set by a judge. Like, doesn't that make him in contempt of whatever agreement they have? So he can take her to court for contempt, and then she, like, will be punished. I don't know if that's how it works with custody, to be honest with you, but I know that in like a lot of legal battles, like whatever the judge decides on, you have to follow that. Like, you have to follow that, or you can get in trouble. Hello? What's not clocking? Oh, sorry. These people are actually pissing me off. So I think at the end of the day, I'm going to say the husband's an asshole, and so is the wife. Y'all are both fucking assholes. So go pucker up your little booties, and I don't even know what that means, but I'm just pissed right now. Like, I can't believe so many innocent people. And then also, like, I didn't even mention that I feel bad for the freaking daughters as well, the stepdaughters that are being brought into this. Like, they just got their dog ripped from them. They just got their poor dog ripped from their very fingers. The way that brass knuckles would be coming out if someone took my fucking dog from me. It's on. It is on. Like, I No, I would not accept that behavior from you, frankly. That is just crazy to me. Like, I think I would never speak to my mom again if she did that. Like, you're telling me you're going to take my dog from me? I can't. I truly can't. I truly can't. Someone said I gasped when I read that the ex got a dog. No, I actually did too. I like literally cannot believe that she did that. Like, I genuinely, she was like, imagine it was the dog. Wait, that would be such a plot twist if she adopted that dog from the person they gave their German Shepherd away to. I would honestly be happy with that because I need this dog to come back. I'm like very, very hooked on this dog situation. I don't know. I think I have too strong of feelings over this, to be honest with you. But I was literally thinking the other day when I was in Petco yesterday, I was like, I am not meant for this life. I am not meant for this life. Like, I walk through Petco because it's right next to my gym. So I immediately like just leave the gym and I walk to the Petco store to get my cats some wet food usually when they run out. And there's always cats there, which I'm starting to volunteer for. On Thursday nights, I believe I'm going to start doing it. They have like the cats in the glass cages, which, first of all, don't even get me started on that. There's 2 little kittens there that I saw last week as well. They've been there for a little bit, but they're so cute, little like tuxedo kittens. But then there's also 2 new cats, and they're like both 2-3 years old, I think. They just got there. They had just arrived there like a couple days ago because their owner died. And I actually started crying. Like, I fully started crying at the Petco, and I'm about to start crying again just thinking about it. Like, no, that actually, I could not. I was like, first of all, one of them was so sad, hiding in the back, like would not come out. And the other one was hiding with her as well. But then he came out because I was like, going through, putting my fingers through the holes. And I was like, come here, come here. And he came out. And he was like headbutting against the glass, like rubbing his body against the glass. I was trying to shove my fingers in the holes to be able to pet him. And like, it was making me so sad. And I started reading the big long thing that they had written about the cats, and I was literally bawling. And then I saw hamsters, and I've been on Hamster Talk lately, and I've seen that like everything they sell at the freaking pet stores are not good for hamsters. The cages they sell for hamsters are not good for hamsters. Like, hamsters actually require a lot more space and a lot more care than people think, but people just like, and I can't even say that I'm innocent because when I was younger, I had like gerbils in a regular size like cage, 2 little gerbils, and yeah, I'm sure they didn't have like everything they needed. And obviously, like, I was a little kid, so I don't really think that I'm responsible for researching about that. And I wish that I would have, because now, like, as I'm an adult, I feel so badly that I didn't freaking take better care of those animals, because I feel like when you're younger, you think like, oh, gerbils and hamsters, easy animals to take care of. You just get a cage for them, get some bedding, change out the bedding once in a while and feed them. No, they actually require a lot more work. Like, big, big, big tanks with feet. Like, I don't even know. I've been seeing all of these stuff like a foot or 2 feet of bedding so that they can like burrow in there. They're supposed to get like freeze-dried fruit every day, little puff snacks, like water. They like have all this food spread out, and then food like in a bowl, and the food they sell at the pet stores aren't even good for them. Like, no, it's actually gonna piss me off. I saw 2 little hamsters, actually so effing cute, in one tiny, okay, first of all, the cage was split in 2, so there was a glass wall in between one like small cage. So there were 2 hamsters in half of this little tiny cage, and I'm actually going to freak out because they do not have enough room, and can they even breathe, because there's literally barely any freaking air holes for them. And I'm so stressed just thinking about it. Like, I don't even think Petco and like PetSmart and stuff should be able to sell animals, to be honest with you. Like, I think it should be illegal. And then also, why is it legal for these pet stores to be selling things that aren't even good for these freaking animals? Like, why are you able to sell? Obviously, if people are going in and buying these animals and they're at a pet store, they're going to trust what the pet store is selling, and they're going to be like, oh yeah, this makes sense to have this little fucking tiny ass little cage that isn't even good for them, and then all these things with dyes in them that they're not supposed to. Guys, I could go on and on. Not me being actually so passionate about a hamster, but like genuinely, hamsters, just because they're small, what is that saying? Like, just because they're small doesn't mean they're any less meaningful, or like doesn't mean I don't know what the saying is, but like seriously, just because they're small little animals doesn't mean that they mean any less. Like, they are. Why am I gonna cry over hamsters? Guys, I'm telling you, that's why I was like, I'm not meant for this life. I'm not meant for this life, because I cry at everything, and like, actually, no, it makes me so sad. Like, I hate it. I think I've cried in the past like 5 episodes. I feel like I can't. I just like I hate the world. Like, why are we as humans doing this? Why can't we just be better? Hello, you're pissing me off. You're pissing me off, truly. I gotta go though. I'm sweating with anger right now. I'm sweating with anger. Anyways, love you guys so much. Sorry again, I cry every time. Like, actually, I'm not okay. Genuinely. Like, I cry way too often. It's like a disorder, honestly, but it's okay. Love you guys, and I'll talk to you in the next episode. Bye.
Storytime Society is now available on all listening platforms. If you are on any of those listening platforms, I would really appreciate it if you rated me 5 stars. Thanks for all the support.
Love you guys. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.